Hello everyone, this is Stephen Balch, your instructor for Introduction to Macroeconomics at Ozarka College. Today what I'm going to do is give you just a little bit of feedback on the Chapter 7 through 9 activities that I finished grading yesterday. And then I'm going to tell you a little bit about Chapters 10 through 12, which we have coming up due early next week. All right? So the first thing is, like I said, I did finish grading Chapter 7 through 9 activities yesterday. If you haven't already looked at your grades for those activities and read the grading comments, go ahead and do that as soon as you can. Overall, most of you did well on the assignment. I really appreciate the time and effort that most of you are putting into the course, completing the assignments. There were a few of you that seemed to run out of time. In fact, some of you even wrote on your assignment that you ran out of time and didn't have time to complete certain questions. And of course, the best way to remedy that is to get started earlier on your assignments. And so if you have any questions, just let me know on that. There were a few of you that forgot to include the calculations or the tables on your assignment questions. Remember, if it says on the assignment instruction that you are supposed to include a table or you're supposed to include a calculations, you want to make sure you do that. Okay, so I had to count some points off for that, the best way to correct that is just make sure that you're carefully reading the questions and including everything that it says to include. All right. But like I said, overall most of you did well. So just like I said, look at your grading comments and just let me know if you have any questions at all. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. Most of you did well on the discussion. If you remember, the discussion dealt with the unemployment rate, calculating that, and then also unemployment compensation. I thought that the discussion went very well. Everybody included some good information, and hopefully you were able to kind of take the concepts that we were learning about unemployment, the types of unemployment, and how the rate is determined and so forth, and apply it to a real-world scenario where we had to answer questions about it. Like I said, most of you really did provide some good information. I really enjoyed reading everyone's comments. So keep up the good work on that. Let's see. The chapter test, most of you did well on that. Just as a reminder, though, you can take those tests as many times as you want to up until the due date, and your highest grade is automatically recorded. Okay? All right. So that brings us to our next set of chapter activities for chapters 10 through 12. So if you'll notice on the activities page of Miles Arca, right now we are on week 7 of the semester, and we just had work due late last week. We don't have anything else due this week, but we do have work due early next week. So under week 8, you see chapters 10 through 12, assignment, test, and discussion. All right. Now, very briefly, let me kind of talk about what we're going to be studying in each of these chapters. In chapter 10, we're going to be looking at short run and long run aggregate demand. Okay. And then chapter 11, we're going to be looking at short run and long run aggregate supply. And then chapter 12, we're going to be looking at aggregate demand and aggregate supply models, where aggregate supply curve and aggregate demand curves are put together to show the market, overall market in the economy, and the price levels. Okay, so be studying those chapters, be working on those activities. And again, they're all due by Tuesday, March 3rd. Remember the resources they have available to you. All right. You have your textbook, you have your PowerPoint slides, you have the videos that I posted on the assignment page. So make sure you're using all those. Most of you are, but I always like to remind you of that. All right. The other thing that we have coming up due towards the end of next week is our midterm exam. So it doesn't seem like we should already be close to midterm, but we are very close. And we will take our midterm exam. It'll be available from March 4th through March 6th, which is Wednesday through Friday of next week. Okay? Now, I will be sending out an email, a course mail later on this week that will explain a little bit more about the midterm exam, how many questions are on it, how many points they'll be worth, and so forth, and what you need to use to study. Just in general, though, you're going to study, of course, your textbook, your chapter test, PowerPoint slides, videos that I posted. I will be going in probably later today and making sure that all the chapter tests that you've taken so far are available for review, so that you can go back and review those questions for the midterm exam. So I'll do that later today. And just let me know if you have any questions after you read the course mail about the midterm exam that I'll send out later this week. If you still have questions about it, just let me know, and I'll be glad to answer any other questions that you have. But that's really all I have for you for today. So be working on those activities, be preparing for the midterm, and I will talk to you next time. Thank you.